That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And, wouldn't you know it, it's time for another MCU trailer. It's Eternals. Yeah, that's right. It's the new trailer for the MCU. Dragon, I would dare to say this is the MCU's first dip into the realm of art house cinema. Is that fair to say?
I think you're right. I think the closest they've gotten to it before has probably been Doctor Strange. But even so, I mean, they're very much still in the kind of the
Doctor
blockbuster
Strange is
stage.
much more like that. I mean, I can see where you're going with that, but that's kind of like more like old sci-fi kind of stuff.
What I'm saying is they still had kind of the world's blockbuster stage for Doctor Strange. So
Sure.
that's where I mean that's as close as you get, but still being in the safety zone. This is very full on art house, I'd say. Yeah.
So, Dragon, I get the sense you're not crazy about this.
Not that's not entirely true. I am. I've been basically I've been waiting for just a trailer to form an opinion on this thing, which now we have. I'm
Uh-huh.
still. Here's what I'm at. Just very simply is that I think we got a tease at the very celestial focused, kind of celestial by proxy. Let's say an MCU film directed by, of course, Chloe Zhao. But I've gotten a better idea of the premise and absolutely the potential, which pretty much lines up what you were hoping this film would be. It seems to me. What I would like, though, I think I'm going to be fully sold once I get an official trailer, because right now it's giving me tonally what the thing is going to be. I
Yeah.
want a little bit more character. I think we got a taste of the story, which is what I wanted, but I still want just a little more character to glom on.
These characters were absolute blank slates to me. I'm glad you brought that up.
See,
That was
that's
my
the thing, and
with it.
here's a weird thing. Okay, this
Okay.
makes no real sense. My instinct is that there's too many characters, but we're coming out off of Endgame, which had everyone in it. So I can't say that because that doesn't make any sense. But I think the blank slate thing kind of makes me.
The characters, a lot of them sound like they have a lot of potential, but
So that's why again I'm interested.
also you and I are not Game of Thrones guys at all, and I feel like the big, it's Rob Stark and Jon Snow back together again. Like that's entirely lost on us. Like we don't give.
I mean, I like Kit Harington from the from the How to Train Your Dragons sequels. That's about all I got with Kit Harington. Right. I like him for that though. So I was like, hey, Kit Harington, but less. I'm like the only guy on the internet probably. He's like, hey, besides the Jon Snow, he's a good actor. He's in a horror movie, but no, regardless, that's what I'm saying. I agree with the blank slate thing at this point, John, but there is certainly there's an intrigue there. But I think a trailer will rectify that. So I'm more sold than I was. But it's advertising wise, I think we are kind of in a sticky wicket on the whole. If the next trailer doesn't tie things together, they're going to be in big trouble, I think.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Dragon, you ready to get the channel blocked in China?
Why not? Mulan did it for us already.
All right, so folks, I very, very rarely get political on this channel. I really try and make it a point not to get political. But something was brought to my attention, Dragon, and I made kind of like a running joke as soon as, even before Chloe Zhao actually won, because it was pretty much like it was almost a sure thing that she was going to win, right? So, even before the actual win came, I was like, oh man, I bet they're going to this is the first time they can say from Oscar-winning director Chloe Zhao. And Dragon, I do not know what Chloe Zhao did to piss off China. I don't keep up with that. Honestly, I don't want to say I don't care, but I'm sure she said some outspoken things against China, which Dragon, without getting into
let me savor the trouble here. Let me just shorten
it
for you. Just in terms of what you're looking for here is that China's hard to please. I think we can all just get on board with that. China is really hard to please.
China's a dictatorship.
Well, now he's making the political statement, folks.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, China's difficult to please.
I'll say it.
He'll say it.
And I'm going to say that harsh of a statement, just because Dragon, I've been uncomfortable with this side of Disney for a while, and honestly, I'm sort of putting my foot down here. Because I'm a huge Disney, Disney has been such a big integral part of my life forever, right? I literally just got a tattoo of Stitch, so I'm about as diehard of a Disney fan as they come. Dragon, over the past few years, basically starting with the Milan situation, it's been getting super uncomfortable for me to stay quiet on the fact that Disney is very blatantly catering to China for financial gain. And I'm just like, I understand that's like the business of cinema to a certain extent. Here's the thing. Here's where, Dragon, I kind of draw a line here, because it's like, I posted a comment on not the Marvel Studios YouTube channel, but the Marvel UK YouTube channel, just because that was the first one that I saw this morning that had the trailer. And I was just like, I'm surprised that Marvel isn't pimping out the whole Oscar-winning director Chloe Zhao thing, just as an offhand. I didn't even think it got much attention. Dragon, that comic got over, last I checked, it got 300 plus likes. And but people commented over and over, just China. They don't want to piss off China. Chloe Zhao pissed off China. They don't want to piss off China. And Dragon, I'm sorry, I can't stay is a huge outspoken advocate for auteur cinema. I am not okay with this. The MCU should be loud and proud about the fact that this, I feel like they're trying to sell the fact that this is an art house MCU movie. And you've got the Oscar-winning director right there. She literally just won the Oscar. I know the Oscars didn't go over that well, but Dragon, I don't know. And it's not just this. This is a tipping point, but I've been feeling this way for a while as a Disney fan. I just want to state, for the record, I'm very uncomfortable with Disney's catering to China. All right, there we go, Dragon. We're never going to be invited to anything Disney-related ever again. We're probably never going to be allowed in China ever again. I'm probably never going to get into Hong Kong Disneyland, but whatever. I said my piece. Dragon, it's honestly been building up for a while. I don't like... I hate to point fingers, but it feels very Chapaikian, if you will. Did I just invent a term?
I think you did. I think you did. And we're all just going to blow away by it right now. It's as someone, Disney means so much to me on a very, it's it's not an exaggeration to say the brand is practically my life at this point, with this channel, with So You Want to Be an Imagineer that's taken off and is more successful than ever. It's weird to see Disney play scared, given the superpower they have slowly been, but less slowly have become over time.
So, like I said, I think the tipping point for me with this situation is, to me, it seems so fucking stupid. It's like I said, this is an art house movie. This is a big, bold thing for Marvel to do. And they have an advertisement for that on a silver platter, and they're just not using it. It's icky, Dragon. It's icky.
I'm more seriously. My take on it is, I'm more baffled than offended by it, and that it's just the sense of the Eternals needs all the help it can get for many reasons.
Yeah, right.
One, of course, was just kind of the hard sell of it, as well as just the fact that the Eternals. I've kind of held true the belief that, out of all the things that have been pushed back because of the pandemic, Eternals, already, after Endgame, had this thing come out at schedule, basically, okay, so the year after Endgame, we have Black Widow and this coming at you. That's an instant sell. Of course, people are going to watch that. The same reason everyone came to see Captain Marvel. Of course, it's in a protected little niche of of course we're going to see this. It's cushioned between the safety cushions, if you will. It's
we got Atomic Beast in the comments. Atomic Beast, you just missed the conversation, buddy. We're talking about Disney catering to China by not marketing Chloe Zhao in the advertising, and it's something I'm very uncomfortable with. But moving on.
Yeah, and that thing, I think if they were more confident about the Eternals, at least that I think all of us could see, perhaps I think perhaps then I could buy we don't need to rest on the laurels of Chloe. Yeah, but clearly they do. We really could use it. And I want to say Disney's been kind of playing scared. If I could be misremembered. I was just thinking back to it. I want to say they've been playing scared ever since Star Wars. If I recall, did Star Wars perform well in China? Force Awakens, right? See, that's what I'm saying. If you have Force Awakens, was a huge get for them, that doesn't perform. I want to say that's the moment where they truly were playing scared. Oh God, we really gotta And then of course, like that once we get to Mulan, it's like, okay, now we really gotta play it safe here, and that's one it's become kind of a climate of like, okay, well, China's hard to please. Honestly, all studios I think have kind of come into contact with this, where he makes some good movies.
And I want to emphasize, it's a tricky situation because obviously that's where a ton of box office is coming from, you know. But
yeah, the Town Beast, it makes excellent points. Is the only movie that China loves is Transformers 4, which also speaks to, I think there's a little bit more of a style over substance thing in China, it would seem, at least on first glance, if you look at a lot of the films that perform well over there. Which
even the local films that perform over there. Honestly,
not really into the heady stuff, or like kind of the art house pictures, if you will. So either way, honestly, I think the movie just a lot of movies in the China market are kind of dead on arrival in certain respects, you know. So
Dragon, really quick. We got some So You Want to Be an Imagineer royalty in the comments here, folks. Trevor A. Oh my God, Trevor, how are you? It's great to see you. Trevor, I just want to say, So You Want to Be an Imagineer, season 19. If you can believe it. It's going to be great, bro. And the casting for it filled up. We got 21 slots filled up in like 3 hours. So You Want to Be an Imagineer is going on stronger than ever. I hope you're doing well, Trevor. All right, anyways, go ahead.
Right. Anyway, and also Tom Beast kind of calling out Gilgamesh, who he really pops up towards the end of the trailer here as the Korean guy who plays one of the Eternals. He's like a really cool father in the zombie movie Train to Busan, which I'm blank on the actor's name, but yeah, that's Gilgamesh. The idea is the Angelia Jolie character and the guy playing Gilgamesh are I believe they have a bit of a romance. At least they have a really close relationship. So they're besties, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that's anyway. All right, so but just on the China thing, we're playing scale. We're kind of catering to the Chinese market. It's not just Disney; it's a lot of studios, but it's most apparent with Disney in that, like, you think Disney's going to be the instant sell. Like, of course they're going to be on board. Plus, there's Hong Kong Disney and everything. I mean, come on, how it's not a certainty. Mm-hmm. Sad to say. It's sad to see that kind of some of your idols kind of play scared sometimes, and that's simply what it is.
Like I said, it's like at this point, Dragon, it's like there's no going back. Like, my life is like Disney is always going to be there. It's literally tattooed on my body, so it's I just don't like the direction it's headed,
and I have A113 branded on my body. It's different though. It's like a burning sensation. Anyway, so okay.
I have a feeling that the dominant conversation is going to be So You Want to Be an Imagineer is eternal. Indeed, Trevor, indeed. I have a feeling the dominant conversation is probably going to be on this, Dragon, but let's have some fun. Let's actually break down this trailer.
Can you turn off the autoplay real quick?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Before we start this, Bubby, let me say something. I've done some research on the Eternals. So again, I'm not an expert by any stretch, but I've done a little bit more research on the Eternals because, again, the trailer does have my interest and does make me more intrigued to see. Again, the Eternals, I'm pretty much going in. I'm going in blind to, which I've never really had with any of not to this degree if I have any of the other MCU films, which does interest me. But just a little thing in case you or other people may not be aware. I think the Eternals were a very interesting point in Marvel because Jack Kirby, of course, Jack the King Kirby, monolithic name next to Stan Lee, of course. Jack Kirby, he'd been mistreated by the industry, and he left Marvel to go with DC, and that's where he created the New Gods thing, which is like his big claim to fame on the other side of the fence between the two companies. So he does work there, and again, pretty much, I forget if he just left of his own accord, Marvel made him a better deal, or just inevitably DC then just kind of got a little skimpy with the cash, so he went back to Marvel. I can't say which of those things happened, but one of those things happened for sure. So he goes back to the Marvel side of the fence, and essentially he took the New Gods concept that was going big at DC, and I assume that's why they wanted him back, in part, and he basically did the Eternals, which essentially is Marvel's take on the New Gods.
Okay. So, yeah. Interesting.
And we have a plot synopsis for this in addition to the trailer, by the way. I feel
Go ahead.
Sure. So we have basically all we know about this movie going into along with this trailer is a tragedy has occurred post Endgame, which gets me speculating, but we'll get there. And basically, the Celestials created the Eternals, who have Celestials pretty much like Star Lord's dad, and just like the giant, the giant skeleton head that is nowhere in Guardians of the Galaxy. One of those guys, giant Celestial guys. They created the Eternals, and they've been the Eternals have been residing on Earth for 7,000 years. And they've reunited. They were kind of disparate at a certain point. They've reunited to combat the enemy of the Eternals, which are deviants. Which basically deviants are mutated Eternals. Basically, Celestials attempted to create the perfect human, which leads to an Eternal. If one gets mutated and goes all kind of monstrous looking, instead of looking like kind of the GQ model catalog in front of us here, they're going to be they're going to be deviants. And anyways, let's just fire into the recap. So,
all right. So, So right off the bat, Dragon, I mean, stylistically, it's Chloe Zhao. There's no hiding that. It's like Chloe Zhao. I've only seen Nomadland. I haven't seen any of her other work, but stylistically, it is very much just like very gorgeous landscape shots, and that's kind of her signature.
Yes. Tiki, you think we could, kind of go full screen here?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Yes, so a very, very Nomadland-esque. Just looking at it, I can tell that much.
I mean, this right here, it's like this could be mistaken as a freeze frame of Francis McDormand in No Man Land if you look hard enough. Right. But go ahead.
Yeah, Atomic Beast points out Thanos is an Eternal. Now, technically, as I said, Thanos is more a deviant. He is kind of an Eternal gone rogue, and hence the reason he looks, kind of giant purple people eater, if you will. Mm-hmm. And so that's a big speculated thing with this teaser. A lot of people are speculating because we see a couple in love during this teaser, and that couple may be the mommy and daddy of Thanos, which is slightly altered from the comics.
Oh, that'd be big though.
I know, but that's the thing, because again, this story spans. Just looking at what the example we have right now, like we're in like kind of the past, kind of the dawn of humanity, one could say.
Yeah.
Just looking at it. So over time, Thanos's different Eternal members are Thanos's parents in the comics, and we've changed a little bit. We've been really vague about Thanos's backstory in the MCU. Like we got rid of the whole Lady Death thing. So basically, Thanos is all we know is he comes from Titan.
We thought Helga was going to be Lady Death.
Hela.
Sorry.
Yeah, she doesn't like that football head. That Hela.
No, I was thinking of an American Gladiator. Actually,
really?
Believe it or not. There was an American gladiator named Ga.
No, but seriously though, yeah, I think the smart money was on Hela, being kind of our fill-in for Lady Death, which would have been really interesting. I got to admit, we ended up just not doing it. All we've kind of maintained is that Thanos comes from Titan. He's a mad Titan because he tried to wipe out. Essentially, he wiped out half the population. So again, that's the question is: are we going to get into the parentage, which basically takes place on Titan, which is he had two Eternals as parents, which born kind of a mutated version of Eternal, which is a deviant, which basically gave him a lot of drove him mad in the comics. So again, it's not set in stone, but again, we see the couple in love, and we're spanning decades. And my speculation is that a tragedy occurs post-Endgame. I'm wondering if they're going to be bold enough to say they're mourning the death of their son, Thanos.
Ooh.
Right?
That right there. Oh, man. That just got me more excited about this movie than, like, anything.
Because we know for a fact this is post-Endgame. Even if I didn't tell you that because of the ending of this trailer. So it is... It is interesting. Again, if they want to go full on, we're doing the Thanos parentage thing. That would be a way to kind of work in that. We don't have any idea what this tragedy is going to be. It could be like the gang forming their rift that is basically they're getting reassembled for this movie. Maybe that's it. But if they want to go really, really jaw-droppingly, oh my God, we did it. Thanos had a mommy and daddy, and they're very sad. Their purple boy's gone.
I love it.
That would be really cool.
Okay, you know what? I honestly think your theory has some credence because you said the villains are going to be kind of like Thanos, right? They're like warped Eternals.
Yeah, again, mutated Eternals, essentially.
Yeah, so
basically like the non-GQ
thematically, that makes sense. It's like they're facing down like the face of their dead son. You know what I mean?
And as Trevor A says, and they killed Thanos twice in that movie, which makes it again, it's like their own version of WandaVision going on in this movie potentially. Right. And it's a love story, and it's a couple.
All right.
So what do you think about the song choice?
Remind me what the song is?
End of the World.
I'm not really too familiar with the song.
Well, it's it's kind of like End of the World. I don't know. I thought it kind of complemented the trailer nicely, but
it does. I'm sorry, Dragon. I kind of told you that I was sort of researching this, and then power went out, so I didn't really have time to rewatch the trailer. So my bad.
Right.
Don't really have an opinion.
Right. Well, let's see. So, anyway, so point being, the Eternals are showing up in a very, and again, just to add credence to the Thanos thing. Remember, Thanos and Ronan the Accuser drive like giant, like Dark Aster looking ships like this. They're just humongous, kind of like giant rectangular, in this case, kind of pointed, triangle sort of ships.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, very celestial, or kind of the babes of celestials travel in style.
Yeah, and this is I mean, it is really striking imagery. I do and kind of the tribalism of it as well kind of speaks to kind of nomad, like I said, Drake, just all of it is just like, it feels very, very auteur to me.
Sure. So here's, again, so this is going to be our focus. So Gemma Chan essentially is, from what I understand, from what Kevin Feige has been really praising about the movie, Gemma, right here, she is going to be the focus of the film, and by proxy, I'd imagine the love story here might be very, very key in the narrative. So Gemma Chan plays Cersei. Now, the idea with the Eternals essentially is that these, again, children of
Cersei.
What?
Her name is Cersei.
Yes, and there's a reason for it. Here's why.
No. I'm just saying that's funny because we have two Game of Thrones guys, and then Cersei is like another famous Game of Thrones character.
That's a good point. Yeah. So the thing is, so the Eternals are the creation of the giant Celestials. We remember in Guardians of the Galaxy we saw the demonstration of the Power Stone with that giant looking kind of Galactus looking thing. Anyway, so that was a Celestial, and that's usually the scale which Celestial looks. With the exception being Star-Lord's father is like the last of the Celestials, Ego the Living Planet, who's now dead, which means Celestials have gone bye-bye. But my point is, so they create the Eternals, and the Eternals are basically kind of like gods on Earth who, as we see in this teaser, have basically remained hidden, and over the years they've inspired the mythology, as in like Cersei is like Cersei from Greek mythology. And right here, as we're looking at Angelia Jolie, she plays Thena, which essentially is the inspiration for Athena, the Greek god of knowledge, I think.
Yeah. I'm just going to say it. I've never been a fan of Angelina Jolie. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a performance of hers where I'm just like, wow, that blew me away.
Well, I think she's really good in Kung Fu Panda, but I don't know how much water that holds.
Really? That's what you're going to go to?
In terms of like a really good Angelia Jolie performance, she's really good as Tigress.
I mean, that's fair, but like, all right.
Well, I don't want to have to go through all of Angelia's.
She's the kind of actress where I'm like, all right, is it a cult of personality thing or what? I don't.
You really lean on the cult of personality thing. It's a little weird.
Yeah. It's almost like she was the prototype to Jennifer Lawrence, which was like an even bigger like cult of personality thing that I really didn't get, but that's a different story.
Anyway, but yeah, it's really weird in the marketing here because again, Angelina Jolie is technically the biggest name they have in this film, yet they're really stressing the fact that no, Angelina Jolie. It makes me think. I don't want to just like box her into a corner here, but I'm convinced like she's going to turn bad in this movie. I don't know why. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's the vibe I get from. We pushed her all the way down. We're raising up all of our other guys as we should logically. It's like let's not just rest on the laurels of Angelina Jolie, but it just kind of makes me think. I wonder if she's going to be the villain. Is that why we're pushing her down?
Yeah, maybe.
Then again, Angelina Jolie kind of has like a sinister air about her at times. That's the thing.
All right.
There's Salma Hayek.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So there's of course Brian Tyree Henry, our guy. There he pops up in a
yeah.
So he's a gadget guy.
Guys.
Yep. Trevor, we have some comments. Trevor says looks like 2001. Is kind of aesthetic. Mainly when the
does very much look like 2001, Trevor. I agree.
Also, he points out Gone in 60 Seconds. Hello. Anyway. All right. But yeah, so let's see. So each Eternal kind of has a role here. So Fastios is the Brian Tyree Henry one. The whole thing is like he's an inventor. I want to say Fastios is a fill-in for it. Essentially inspires Hephaestus, the builder in mythology. I think that's the idea. And you'll notice like this yellow energy effect. It's pretty much that's them kind of controlling the power of cosmic. It's kind of how we artistically do it here, which I don't know if I'm fully sold on it yet. I want to see it in action a little bit more because it looks a little generic for me in the trailer.
That is a cool reveal of the Marvel logo, though.
That is pretty neat, though. I'll give them that. Okay, so Salma Hayek's kind of doing the narration here, and basically she is kind of the co-leader of the team. It seems Salma Hayek, she's the one. She's kind of like the spirit kind of representation, where she's the one who gets the bright idea, like, hey, from afar. That's Ajax, I believe. That's I think it's her. Yeah, it's Ajax. She's the one who gets the idea. Let's kind of help humanity from the sidelines. We've watched them, we've guided them. Like we've kind of we've been like giving, hey, here's a knife and here's water for the people who need the water. We're gonna watch them flourish with this. We're seeing some warrior stuff from Angelia Jolie, as she is. I'm sure she's wont to do. You want to look good in the Marvel movies if you're a celebrity. Now there's a money shot for you, like the nice big kind of castle, kind of nice kind of kingdom shot.
What do you think of Kumail Nanjiani?
Oh yes, Kumail. Yeah, Kumail Nanjiani. So he's I like the money shot that we give him when he's doing like kind of the Bollywood thing. That's the idea.
I do too. That's why I brought it up, because that shot was one of the most intriguing shots in the trailer to me.
Yeah, and the idea so he's going to play a guy called Kingo, which again, I'm hoping these names are going to get a little more memorable, because unless you've done the research, you're not going to know any of these names. That's what I'm saying,
because I mean, it's like
it's 10 characters.
Dragon, I'm sorry, I don't have much to add to what you're laying down, because it's like I can comment on the trailer itself, but it's like everything you're laying down is not stuff that we're getting from the trailer itself. You know what I mean?
Right. I know. That's what I'm saying. I need that official. I need like the actual trailer.
So it's like you can give me all the details you want, but I got to admit, like you're throwing a lot of information at me all at once, so it's hard to keep track of.
I mean, to be fair, it's information we're not getting in the trailer, so there's room for it. But
no,
yeah,
I know.
You're not.
But it's kind of like secondhand information. I'm having a hard time keeping up with it.
I'm just saying the Bollywood thing is assumedly just playing just what we have visually is that he's kind of gone Hollywood over the years once the team is split up and they've kind of like carved their own niche in the world.
All right, Dragon, I know who this is. Can I explain this character?
Go ahead.
This is Sprite, right?
Yeah, that's Sprite. Yeah.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the idea with her is that she's one of the most ancient Eternals, but she's also like eternally youthful.
Yeah, she's like an eternal 12-year-old girl, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, out of all the characters, that's the one where I'm like, okay, I can get behind that idea. I can like that. That's a character I can wrap my head around.
Little vaguely Monster Girl-esque, yeah.
I was thinking more Peter Pan.
No, you're right. That's the better one. Obviously, got Invincible in the brain. Also, I like the patterning. I like the circular kind of patterning. It's kind of I think it's what? Oh, right. Right. Think, Mark.
All right.
So you have to do the hand pose. I've seen it, but they have to do like that. Think, Mark. Anyway.
Yeah.
I like the circular pattern there, which I think is, again, I'm just not sold now we're representing the cosmic kind of like energy manipulation. They're like all like the gold little effects. There's a boy you should recognize, Tiki.
Oh, hold on. Let me go back. Let me see if I can recognize him without you having to tell me who it is.
Yeah.
Him?
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Man. I'm sorry, not off the top of my head.
Oh, you want me to tell you?
Yeah, who is it?
Okay, I'll give you a hint. Dunkirk.
Is it... I still don't know.
It's George. It's George, the one who the one on the boat, Tiki, Georgie.
Oh, okay, all right, fine, all right. That's kind of an obscure character, but fine, all right.
Well, I mean, he had it was like this one memorable thing that he did.
No, you're right. All right, fair enough. When you said Dunkirk, I should have got it. Like when you said Dunkirk, I was thinking like, wait, it's not the One Direction guy, is it?
No, God, no. So here's the thing. So this guy, I'm suspecting. Again, the Angelia Jolie thing is just something I kind of feel in my bones. I don't think there's any credence for it. But looking at that kid, though, I got to be honest. I think he might actually turn to a bad. Yeah, I think he's going to side with our bad guys or something because his power is mind control, and that just sounds like that could, unless you're Charles Xavier, which by all means we could kind of be doing something akin to that, maybe. But mind control, and he's an Eternal, and he doesn't jive with the rest of the gang. He might be skewing towards less the side of Angels if you catch my meaning.
All right, can we actually get to this money shot that I've been trying to get to?
Yeah.
All right.
So we're getting there.
Big save.
Yeah, which is nice.
So, Dragon, one of the criticisms I've been hearing about this is like, okay, they were on the sidelines with the Thanos thing, and now there's apparently a threat that's even bigger than Thanos.
Well, I mean,
I got to admit, when they put it that way, I'm kind of like, yeah, that's a good point.
Well, I think the idea, and again, I can't have no true bearing on this, is basically what is said in like Salma Hayek kind of narration is, they've been watching from the sidelines, and basically Salma Hayek's been the one who's really been getting involved. They're basically like slightly more proactive versions of the Watcher. The Watcher can only watch the events and record them. He can't do anything, where I wonder how much is, and basically the idea, so now this personal thing, which is very absolutely linked to them with the Deviants, is the Deviants thing is something they have to get involved with. But you're right, though. The Thanos of it all, assuming they go that route, would be somewhat of a hole in there, unless they have a really good reason we're not privy to yet.
I mean, I'm assuming maybe one of the reasons is like, because like you said, if your theory is true and they're mourning things, like maybe it's like, well, fuck, our son is doing something really bad, but it's our son.
Yeah. So maybe there's like a debate that had gone. Maybe that. Imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine if the birth of Thanos was the thing that broke up the team, and that's why, why all the Thanos stuff, because they weren't a team that would handle this sort of thing. And now after Thanos is gone, they're kind of reunited at the funeral, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. I could see that. That.
Maybe that'll be it. So again, there's Selma Hayek doing her things to help society and help people. And again, there's that Cannon guy. But all right, so. Of course, there's the money shot from the reel.
She's got a sword.
Yeah. Magic cosmic sword, yeah.
I'm sorry, the only reason I'm goofing on it is that for the longest time, this was like the one shot that we had in this movie.
This is what I'm saying. I am just not sold on like the cosmic energy yet. It looks just a little, this is going to sound harsh. It looks a little cheap. I don't know. It just looks a little, this is your cosmic energy? It looks just so,
I have a feeling that given Chloe Zhao likes to do really long takes, it might look better as it's like flowing through the environment. You know what I mean?
I hope so.
I don't know. I think she can do something interesting with it stylistically. I agree with you. It doesn't look great, but
yeah. Okay, this is what I'm talking.
We get Aladdin, Dragon. We're in Aladdin now. Yay!
Oh, don't be that guy.
It's Aladdin.
Now it's Aladdin, yeah.
I'm just saying, like this, like show anyone this screenshot and they could have been mistaken. Like, unless they're like, unless they really know who Camille is, they could really just think it's Aladdin, Dragon.
God,
this looks so much like Aladdin.
And he's in great shape, Bo. He's really going on about the whole the pressure of Marvel Studios.
I don't want to celebrate that too much because I'm not a huge fan of the way that MCU is like, we gotta have all our male protagonists be as buff as possible.
Have you heard the thing with Dave Bautista recently?
No, I have not.
Yeah, Bautista. I assume this is not the absolute reason, but the way he's kind of framing it is that.
I heard that he's going to retire from Guardians, but is that the reason why? Because of the workout regimen?
Well, no, not the workout regimen. It's the fact that he's kind of put very simply that. He's getting older, and he doesn't want to be playing this shirtless role forever.
Oh my god! Well, you know what? That's a very valid reason. Honestly.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's kind of the same Hugh Jackman thing. You're gonna, there's gonna be an expectation. You're gonna get older, and there's only so much you can do without killing yourself. You want to. So yeah, it's just kind of a little too much for the base. We have the Guardians special, and we got you got the Holly special, and we have the movie, and that'll be it for Bautista. It looks like.
All right. Anyways. This looks like a pretty old school sequence right here.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the things I'm excited about with this movie is kind of like jumping around through like not just decades, Dragon, but like centuries.
I know that is very interesting for sure. And again, that's what I'm saying. Though, I gotta tell you, I'm a sucker for what seems to be a really interesting love story between, Icarus and Cersei. There, By the way, Icarus, essentially the Richard Madden character. He's from what I understand, the guys, he's like the only superhero of the team, really, and the rest of them are just kind of essentially gods. He's the only one who's kind of played heroes. So it's going to be interesting.
You know what? That's appropriate because in Greek mythology, Icarus is kind of like one of the few Greek gods that is kind of like that would fit the role of like a typical hero.
Yeah. It's kind of almost it's like Batman gliding on the wings, essentially. It's like the man who ascends above the rest of us.
All right, so this volcano shot looks beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, I mean it's good landscaping, Tiki, but it's.
I don't know what to tell you. That's what Chloe Zhao.
That's what I'm saying. My problem is all I'm getting is like it looks nicely shot on location. That's about it.
Dragon, I have a feeling like you haven't watched Nomadland for a reason, and I don't think this movie's gonna land with you very. I have a feeling it's not.
I mean, again, I'm just hoping the story and the characters are going to be there. Which I mean, I'm getting a taste for the story.
They weren't in Nomadland on either front.
I'm getting a taste for the story, but I'm just a lot of it is just based on like the possibilities than what I'm seeing. That's the thing that's worrying me about Eternals.
I mean, Nomadland, the characters were like just essentially real people, which is fine, but it's not really like character writing per se. And then the story I mean, without giving away the end of the movie, I have some issues with the story in that movie, but anyways. Right. So.
I believe that's Sprite just kind of hanging out like a plane or something. There's the money shot. And again, I got to tell you, the costumes do look nice.
I don't know who any of these people are. Blank slates. Total blank slates, Dragon.
Which is not good. At least you can distinctively break down which of the Guardians are which.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like one's a tree, one's a raccoon, one's green, one has like Dave Bautista and all the tattoos, and there's Chris Pratt. So there's a very simple breakdown. There's your 5. There's Richard Madden.
This is not a good money shot. This is not a good group pose, man. It's just not.
Yeah, this is what that's the thing. I'm just getting progressively more worried for the Eternals.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And they all look so stoic and bored, too.
Yeah, that's not great.
Like, even Sprite looks bored.
So I've told you the analogy, right? People are the worst case scenario. This thing turns into a big screen version of the Inhumans, right?
Yes,
which essentially is like an Iron Fist equivalent, but on the big.
It's not going to be that bad. I'm anything else, it's going to look good.
I hope so. It looks a little gray too, but yeah.
If anything else, I feel like it's going to have like some of the best cinematography of any Marvel movie.
I mean, points there, I guess. So
like if anything, like that's one thing it's going to hold its hat on, but.
That's the thing you really want to hold its head on.
Again, it goes back to the Chloe Zhao thing, man. If they just had like the Oscar-winning director Chloe Zhao, I think that would have popped with some people. But as of now, it's like people aren't even aware that the person who just won not just one Oscar, but 2 Oscars for Nomadland.
So now we have the only character bit we have really in the whole thing. So
yeah, and I got to admit, I'm not even really a fan of it. Like I'm just like, all right, it's like it didn't even really give me a chuckle.
Look, I agree. I'm just saying I'm desperate for anything. So
it's like like I said, it's like it intrigued me enough to look up who Sprite was, but that's about it.
So what I have here is the family dinner aspect is the draw for me, and then we have basically the mandated. It's like I love that they know. Okay, yeah, but guys,
even the family dinner, Dragon. It's like they all look bored for the most part.
It's kind of like their interpretation of shawarma, it seems.
And you know what? I like, as much as I do like the landscape shots, I am worried about like the color palette of this movie looks very, very gray. Like I got to admit, this dinner table scene, I'm not a fan of it at all from a visual point of view. I don't like this set. I don't like the way this set looks.
Yeah, let me tell you something. So a lot of people for years have, more so in recent years, now we've had like 3 phases of the MCU and people are looking back now. have really pointed out, like they say there's like a muted color palette in the MCU, and I disagree with that for the most part. I say if you look at
I kind of like I like if you cherry pick certain movies, sure, but I don't think it's a problem for the overall franchise at all.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's a mistake to say all the MCU movies have a muted color palette. I just think that's inaccurate. I'm not just saying like the later films. I'm saying like Iron Man,
dude.
Yeah, and I'm saying even going back for like the first Iron movie, that's
Ragnarok. Sure. Go ahead. Sorry.
And that's what I'm saying. Like you even going like further back. I mean, you have even early examples like an Iron Man, for example. Where that's pretty colorful. I mean, of course, the Avengers movie. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think we have. Really? I mean, it's. I don't know. Well, I'm not saying it's like uber color.
Just because there were colors in that movie, I don't like the visual look of that movie. It looks like a cable movie now.
Well, anyway,
it's more the flat lighting, though.
All right. My point is, I mean, just knowing about that kind of being somewhat of a topic people have been talking about, just seeing this whole movie kind of looks
like self-parody.
That's what I'm saying. The movie looks entirely like, oh god, this makes it look like the good. This is now going to be the go-to. I'm
going to be honest. This looks like Francis Ford Coppola.
I mean, I haven't even seen this movie, and I get a sense this is going to be the go-to example for muted color palette. Well, I mean, yeah, but that's
right.
It's that Zhao lady, man. Come on.
I mean, we've got a cast of like literally larger than life characters, and they all look so boring visually.
Which, yeah, it's a thing. Again, I want to be clear though. I don't want to.
I was not expecting to be so down on this movie going into this.
Right?
I really wasn't.
All right, so just to talk about the moment that's happened, I guess, to break it down for a minute. So again, this feels like there's a fun little reference to kind of the post Avengers, kind of the post Avengers. Basically, the Avengers at the moment are unofficially disbanded since Endgame. We just haven't talked about it yet. Where the Avengers stand, like everyone's just kind of disparate. Like obviously we have a new Captain America now, and we haven't really talked about the next step. And they're saying, hey, well, Steve Rogers and Iron Man are gone. Wonder who's going to lead the Avengers? And of course, Rich Man is saying, hey, maybe I could do it. And they're always kind of laughing, like, ha, 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 ha. And that summarizes kind of what I think the tone of the whole movie is that, yeah, we're kind of on the periphery of the MCU. We're trying to be our own thing, which I mean,
what bothers me about that scene is like, I feel like it's like, oh, that's Icarus for you. Oh, that goofy, wacky Icarus. And like, we literally don't know a damn thing about him to compare shit to shit. It's like, for all we know, he would make a good replacement,
Yeah, I'm going to be really ticked off if that's like the post-credit scene and we have it like at the end of the teaser.
Oh, God, you just know. Dragon, that notion just literally sent a chill down my spine.
Right? If that's what I'm just getting a sense of again.
I'm not even joking about that.
It's just going to be a real shame to me if this whole movie is about like, hey, we're on the periphery kind of watching things flourish. Like we were in New York for a brief bit. It looked like, Gemma Chan is kind of walking through things. And it's like, if we don't acknowledge like the Marvel Universe at all in this, it's kind of like a why did we bother sort of affair, right?
I think we're gonna they got to acknowledge the Thanos of it all. They got to acknowledge at least the cosmic side.
Exactly. And I just want to be clear. I don't want to necessarily box in the corner that has to be like like this, like a superhero formula thing that we've seen for a lot of MCU. The fact that they're shaking things up, by all means, do that. Like, do your own thing. Be faithful to the Eternals as characters. I don't have anything to glom onto here, really, because I don't know these people yet. And there's a lot of people. I need that. I need that. If I'm not sold by the official trailer, I'm going to be very, very worried compared to just my array. Like, I think there's potential here, but I'm just got nothing to glom onto. I'm right now. All I got is a love story and the potential of some Thanos fallout. That's all I got right now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I think we pretty much said our piece on this thing, right? It's like I want to be more stoked on it than I am, but as of now, honestly, the only thing that I'm latching onto is like, well, the characters honestly look like ass, if I'm being completely frank. But I know that's harsh, but it's like we got nothing to work with. But you know what? The landscapes look pretty landscapes.
I don't want the coming out of this movie saying that. I want to say, well, the landscapes are really pretty in Arthouse. I don't want to come out of the movie saying that.
Right.
I went to an MCU film and I went out talking about the landscapes. It's gonna be ridiculous. Right. I want to be invested. I want like a take my hand Peter scene in this film. I'm not going to get that.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, you with a love story that spans centuries, you might.
That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping for that. That's why I'm clinging. There is absolutely a story with. I know technically Eternals. The idea is that they're not unkillable. They're just long living. But the idea of like immortal-esque characters that span centuries, that is a very interesting idea. I love those types of characters, like immortals like Ra's al Ghul and Vandal Savage. I love that concept. I love that idea. This could really work. But again, I know coming at Endgame with every character, but just 10 characters, that's gonna be really difficult. 10 characters, presumably all good guys, without even having introduced our villains yet.
Right.
I don't know how we're gonna pull this off. I really don't.
All right. Well, folks, it's been a fun time. Talking about China and
politics,
muted color palettes, and boring characters. But hey, we got Loki right around the corner. That's bound to be good, right?
That is true.
All right. So big thanks to Atomic Beast. Big thanks to Trevor A for being here. And yeah, have a good night, everyone.
Give that man a mustache.